Hey, everybody. Welcome back again to a little Austin Sports Weekend with the man here himself, Austin. We are just about to start.
March Madness
March
is on the
Madness.
corner.
March Madness is starting. We've actually got some play-in games going on here as we speak, but we're going to cover the 64. Just really quickly jump through them. But before we get started, thanks again to SevereTV.com for setting us up. Be sure and check
We
out
are
all the other
allowed,
stuff they do.
this time we're allowed to pick different teams instead of the same team.
Yes, we can actually roll through this and give our own opinions because you know what? I'm going to be wrong about probably Friday is when my bracket's going to break. Sometimes I make it through Thursday, sometimes I don't, but it might be broke Thursday. But again, thanks again for Severe TV. Thanks again for Autographs Plus for sponsoring us. Be sure to check them out. They got a couple stores and a good website. But let's jump into these games here. First of all, let's just run through the East. That is our number one bracket. UConn is the top number one overall, and they get to pick their bracket, so they pick the East. And it actually turned out to be probably the hardest bracket. There's some pretty tough games through there.
Stetson is their opponent, and they will roll through them very easy.
They should roll through them pretty easy. I think that's the biggest line of the whole weekend so that I've seen so far. Stetson UConn, it's almost 30 points, but UConn should run through that pretty good. Our 8-9 matchup in that is FAU Northwestern.
The 9 seed usually wins over the 8 seed more often.
Yeah, believe it or not, it's like a 54% of the time the lower seed and the 9/8 win. And honestly, I like FAU here to win.
I think I want to pick me Northwestern.
You're going to pick Northwestern. See, here we go. Here we go. We've already busted one of our brackets right there.
I don't know. I feel better about Northwestern than I do for Florida Atlantic at the moment.
Well, yeah, it's not the same Florida Atlantic team that was in there last year, so I might be living on a little bit of a last year's dream. We got San Diego State UAB. UAB sort of was fortunate to get into the tourney. San Diego State's not last year's San Diego State either, but I still think they beat UAB.
Yeah, I think I got the Aztecs as well.
Yeah. Jumping on down, we got Auburn Yale.
Some of these people actually picked this as an upset pick. I
actually-
don't think.
No, not unless Auburn has a letdown after coming off winning the SEC tournament title.
I don't think.
I
they
don't see
lose.
that though. I don't see Auburn
Losing to
Auburn
Yale.
losing to Yale. No. So yeah, we get a little Auburn on that one. Got a little BYU Duquesne.
I've got BYU. They have the one of the higher 3-point shooting teams in America.
They do. Duquesne will try to slow them down a little bit, but I think we got a little BYU there too. We got Illinois Morehead State. I'll probably go Illinois on that one.
Illinois is pretty hot.
They're pretty hot. They just won the Big Ten title over Wisconsin after Wisconsin knocked off Purdue. Washington State Drake.
This is enticing.
This is enticing. This is a 10-7 matchup that is a possibility
Of happening.
of happening here. Honestly, I tell you what, let's go ahead and take Drake. You want to go ahead and take Drake
Yeah,
just for
I
the
want to
heck
get.
of it?
I want to get Drake.
There's going to be some upsets through here somewhere, so we got to pick some upsets. Iowa State, South Dakota State is not going to be one of them. I'm thinking Iowa State.
Iowa State is playing their.
They're
best
playing their best
basketball.
ball of the year, so I really don't think that that's going to happen. North Carolina, we don't know who they're going to play yet because they have the winner of
Wagner and Howard.
Wagner and Howard. So we're not for sure, but whoever it is, I'm picking North Carolina.
Because North Carolina's got a. It's a huge talent gap. There is.
There's a huge talent
I
gap.
mean, it's happened before. Much to the chagrin, much to the smiles of everyone else, it has happened. But
Yeah, I don't think. Plus, that team's going to come in from playing from playing Wednesday, Thursday to playing. I mean, from playing Tuesday, Wednesday to playing Thursday, and North Carolina sitting back resting a little bit. Now, sometimes that helps the team to come in and have a little rhythm. They might go up on North Carolina in the first 5 minutes of the game, but then honestly, I think North Carolina wins by double digits pretty easy against either one of those two. Going on down in the West, we got Mississippi State, Michigan State.
which state do you pick?
I'm not going to pick against Tournament Izzo.
I've got Tom Izzo and Michigan State as well.
Yeah, Michigan State has had a down year to their standards. They've performed less than what they should have.
I mean, they're performing below the Izzo standard. You
But
know, there is
it's Tournament Izzo, though.
tournament
there's
Izzo is a thing. And
Regular
look it up.
season is Izzo versus Tournament Izzo.
There's two different
So
Izzo.
two different Izzos there. So I'm not going to put Tom Izzo out in the first round.
How about that? Michigan State, 26 straight years.
26 straight
In the
years. Yep.
tournament.
Yep.
They've done this song and dance before.
They've been here a time or two. They've been here a time or two. We got St. Mary's Grand Canyon.
St. Mary's being a great defensive team.
I'm
That's
leaning.
what-
I'm leaning towards St. Mary's too, just because they'll shut a team down pretty good there. Alabama Charleston.
Alabama likes to put up points, but their defense could be suspect at times. But I see Alabama getting by this one.
Yeah, I see Alabama putting up 100 points probably. At least 90. Clemson, New Mexico.
This is my upset pick. I'm picking New Mexico.
I'm honestly leaning towards New Mexico there also. Clemson has been a little up and down all year long.
They've lost some games they shouldn't have,
And New Mexico's got some pretty good players now.
and they've just come off a Mountain West tournament title,
Yep. So
which a conference that got hugely dissed.
they got dissed big time. Yeah, they got teams in,
But they are at least 10 seed or
but
lower.
they're 10 seed or lower. At least they're getting. I mean, the Big East is who got dissed. How many teams they get in?
3. That's
Three
just-
teams out of the Big East.
St. John's didn't get in. Let's just let
Providence
that out of the
didn't
way.
get in.
They weren't even in the final. They weren't even projected in there.
So yeah, the Big East got shafted there quite some, and we got shafted as fans not getting to see those play. And a lot of the teams like Oklahoma and St. John's them turned down the NIT. They said, "Well, we'll just go home then." Baylor at Colgate.
Baylor should have their teeth ready and brushed.
I think
For this one,
I
because-
think Baylor should win this one too. Yeah,
There's going to be a lot of toothpaste jokes for this one.
lots of toothpaste jokes. Yeah,
Get your
Brighten-
toothbrushes
brighten
ready.
that smile. We got Dayton, Nevada.
Nevada all the way.
I'm going a little upset here, a little 10-7 upset here too. I like
Old Steve
Nevada on
Alford
this one.
has coached at UCLA, and he was the former point guard for the recently passed away legendary coach Bob Knight.
Bomb night. Yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely leaning toward the Nevada way there too. We got Arizona, Long Beach State. I don't think the 15-2 happens here either. I'm going Arizona.
Last year, Arizona was the victim of this upset against Princeton, but
Yeah.
I doubt it'll happen
I don't
here.
think it'll happen again. Now, Arizona has been lukewarm at best the last month of the season. They've lost a couple games that they probably shouldn't have lost. USC took them a game.
Swept by
and-
Washington State,
Washington
although they're in
State-
the tournament.
Yeah, Washington State beat them twice. Man, did Oregon beat them in the?
Oregon, I think Oregon. I don't think they played them.
I didn't play. I know.
I
Anyways,
think they did. but
Arizona's lost some games that they shouldn't have lost towards it. But I'm still taking Arizona. I don't think Arizona wins the championship, but I've got Arizona definitely coming out of the first round. We got Houston Longwood. I don't think the upset. I don't think we get a number one upset this year.
It rarely ever happens.
But it's happened 2 times in the past
6 years.
6 years. So it had never happened before, and it's happened 33% of the
I
time.
guarantee you, though, it'll not happen here because Houston's probably going to be ticked off.
I know, yeah. Houston, after losing, Houston got their butt kicked by
Iowa State, that
Iowa
was
State.
fiery hot.
That was terrible. So yeah, I think Houston is very, very focused here. This may be 100-64 game. We got Nebraska, Texas A&M. That's a tough matchup both ways.
Nebraska has had a pretty good season for their standards.
And-
Nebraska basketball hasn't had as historically a great run as other schools.
And A&M is sort of a little hot right now. They made it pretty deep in the SEC tournament. Honestly, I'm going to take another 9/8 there. I'm going to go with A&M.
I might go the slight edge to the Aggies.
You're going to go to the side edge to the Aggies too. We got Wisconsin, James Madison.
I'm going the Dukes. I'm going to go and
12-5
James
upset.
Matt. That's one.
There's
of mine.
always at least one 12-5 upset, so why not?
Now,
Whiskey.
James Madison's record is 31-3. By the way, so that gives me a little more confidence.
I see your point there. And Whiskey did beat Purdue, but they lost
To Illinois.
to Illinois. And before that, they had lost, 6 out of 9? They were 3-6 or something
Coming
like
off
that.
a rough February and
Came off a rough-
tried to save their season.
And they did save their season, but I'm probably along with you. I think James Madison might take them out there. Duke, Vermont. I'd probably stick with Duke on this. It's hard to take Duke out in the first round, too. They might lose in the second round, but I'm probably going with Duke over the Vermont.
Yeah, Vermont is
there.
always that team every year that gets in and doesn't even get a win.
And doesn't get a win and goes something. But, hey, they're at least getting in every year. We got Texas Tech, NC State. That's a tough one for me too. NC State probably shouldn't have made the tournament, but they
I'm going to go
won.
with Texas Tech here.
I probably will too. Even though NC State won. NC State won 5 games in 5 days: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Might be tired.
They will not. They've had a few days off, but still, though, that had to destroy your legs. It had to have destroyed your legs. So, yeah, I'm probably leaning towards a little Texas Tech here, too. We got Kentucky, Oakland.
This is a big game for John. Every one of these games for John Calipari's reputation.
What year did Calipari get the lifetime contract at Kentucky?
Right after the 2019
So
tournament.
So in 2019, the start of the 2019 season, he got a lifetime contract, which was 5 years ago. How many NCAA tournament wins has he had since then?
One.
So in 5 years, he's won 1 tournament game.
Let's say if he loses early in this tournament, he might be a little bit of fire going on in Lexington.
There's a little bit of difference here, though, and the same thing has happened at Tennessee. Kentucky is normally a little more defensive oriented, a little bit more. This year, they are 75% offense and 25% defense. If your defense is not very good, they'll put up 100 on you
In the flash.
and put in subs at the end of the game.
They can score the ball. I'll give them
They're
credit. They have
probably
a lot of scorers.
they're the best scoring team, I think, in the nation. If they have the perfect game, they'll put up 120 on you. I wouldn't think that they might have 120 in this tournament if they get rolling. I'm not even joking. They might beat somebody 120 to 73 or something. It could be that bad. But and also I've got to win over Oakland because this is probably, I think, the most talented Kentucky team we've had in
quite a few years.
quite a few years. And
They've got
I love
5-star
love
players.
Dillingham. He's
Shepard.
I would
and,
Shepard
Antonio
and
Reeves,
Reeves.
and all those guys.
Honestly, they've got a really fantastic team, and I hope that Tennessee gets to play Kentucky again this year because
for obvious reasons.
if that happens, it'll be in the Final Four. But anyways, I've got Kentucky taking Oakland out there. Florida, we don't know yet because Florida plays the winner of
Virginia and Colorado
State. I'm probably leaning towards Virginia in that one.
Even though they have they're offensively challenged, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then whoever gets to Florida, whichever one, I'm taking Florida. I think Florida is sort of one of the hotter teams in the country right now.
Praying for that center that got
That's
injured.
the only thing that would hold them back is their starting center broke a bone,
badly.
and so he is out for the rest of the year. So that's going
Prayers
to
for him.
pressure him. That's going to completely change the chemistry of their team. So we don't know exactly how they're going to play, but I still pick them to go the first game they'll play for that player. They'll go in there and they'll give everything they got just to play for that player. So I've definitely got them coming out of the first round. Marquette and Western Kentucky.
With or without Kolek, they will win the game.
I'm picking Marquette too. I've got a buddy who his son plays on the Western Kentucky football team. He plays on the offensive line there. What's up, Eric Todd? But I'll probably have to lean towards Marquette here because they are
Pretty talented.
They're a pretty talented team, yeah. Jumping into the Midwest, Purdue plays the winner of
Grambling and Montana State.
Grambling. This is their first appearance ever.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Grambling. I would probably lean towards Montana State.
Probably.
Just for that fact, but Purdue over. I don't know.
I'm actually going to take Grambling.
Are you going to take Grambling? You going to take Grambling to be get a win on their first time in?
Why not? It's a happy birthday celebration.
I'm still going to take Purdue. Purdue lost going into the Big Ten run, so the tournament run. So I'm going to pick Purdue to win that round. I think they win that pretty easy. I don't think we have any number one upsets this year. I think we got too much talent in the number ones this year.
But if Purdue does it again.
Oh
no.
Oh, Jack Eady's last 2 years in, and you don't even win a single tournament game. Purdue can't do that. I'm going to think that they can't do that.
Okay, because last year they did, and they got absolutely hammered.
They can't go 2 years in a row being upset by number 16 seed.
If they do, they'll be the mockery of the
They
whole
will be.
nation.
Yeah, there will be memes for years if they do that. So I don't think they do that. The 8-9 matchup, we got Utah State TCU.
Now here's a Mountain West team that got a little more respect.
Yeah,
He's an 8 seed.
this might be the one I think 8 seed that wins. I've got 3 of the 4 9 seeds winning, but I think Utah State might take this one. Who do you
I've
think?
got the Frogs. I've got.
Oh,
TCU.
you got the front. See, I think this one will be close. I think this one's going to be under 5 points. Whoever wins it, and it's going to be a fun game to watch. We got Gonzaga, McNeese
I've got.
upset.
This is an upset.
I've got an upset too.
Watch out for McNeese, everybody.
How many games did they win?
30.
They won 30 games also.
That's always something you got to watch out for.
And we watched that tournament. They looked good.
They were beating the ever living crap.
They
out of everyone
they were a step above.
their whole conference.
Yes, they were. They should have. They were probably
Plus, they
playing good
also
enough.
have a former coach who's been there in the SEC and done it.
And he is
Will Wade,
Will Wade, who used to coach
LSU.
LSU's old coach, because McNeese is in Louisiana. Some people may not know that. So he left LSU, went over to McNeese.
McNeese is a popular pick, and I don't blame you.
I don't blame him. I'm picking McNeese. Gonzaga has sort of tripped and stumbled their way into the tournament. They haven't looked that good. Well, of course, if you lose the Stars, they did last year.
That's excusable.
That's excusable. We got Kansas, Samford.
Now, this one I think is also an upset pick. I'm picking Samford.
Because I'm probably leaning towards Kansas there because, again, you got Bob Self-Turney. How many times has Kansas lost in the first round?
Very few times, but
Very few times.
this is probably one of those times in my
It could
opinion.
be one of the times. I'm going to lean a little bit towards Kansas. So we got South Carolina, Oregon.
Some people are picking Oregon to win, but I think
no,
South
no.
Carolina will win.
I'm thinking South Carolina too. Oregon probably wouldn't have made the tournament if they didn't win the Pac-12.
That's judging by their 11 seed.
Yeah, so I've got South Carolina. South Carolina lost in the tournament pretty bad to Auburn. It's just a bad matchup for them there in Auburn. So I got South Carolina going through this. Creighton, Akron.
That's a dangerous team, Creighton.
Creighton, I'm picking Creighton. Creighton is probably my black horse to win the whole thing. I hope they don't because Tennessee's in the same bracket as they are. But Creighton is very, very talented. I've got Creighton over Akron.
The thing is, though, Akron, by the way, they benefited off of, if not, the most brutal gaffe I think I've ever seen in any basketball game I've ever seen.
In their conference title game, who was the other team they were playing?
Kent State.
Yeah, Kent State. Kent State.
It was just absolutely brutal.
There was 6 seconds left, and their
Team just
guard,
had a go-ahead shot.
their guard drove into the basket, put one in, and they went up 1 point with 6.3 seconds, 6.7 seconds.
And then this guy comes flying in from the corner.
On the inbounds, a guy intentionally fouled one of the Akron players. He must have
one.
He must have thought that they were still down, so he was trying to stop the clock. But he fouled the Akron player.
They hit their free throws.
The Akron player went down, made both free throws, and they lost.
That is painful.
They
That
were
is
up,
agonizing.
Up 1 point with 6 seconds left, and one of your own players gaffed, and you lost the game, and you didn't make the tourney.
I mean, that is just
That's
as
brutal.
heartbreaking
I
as
still
it-
feel sorry for the guy. I'm like, man, I've made some mistakes in my life, so I can feel his pain. But man,
I hope he just stays off of social media.
yeah, he needs to just lay low for a while. But I've still got Creighton taking out
Yeah.
the Zips. And even if they would have been in there, I would have had Creighton taking them out too. So, but Texas is our last 7-10 matchup. We don't know who's going to be the 10 until we get
Colorado and Boise State.
Colorado and Boise State. Who do you think out of Colorado and Boise State gets in there?
I've got my pick for the Buffaloes.
I probably think Colorado too. And
Colorado's record's pretty solid though, 24-10. But Boise State's also all these teams that get in usually have good records.
I just want to say, if you're in the tournament at this point, it's because you're pretty good. There ain't nobody getting in this tournament unless you win your. I mean, we have seen some 15-win teams get in because they win their conference title, but that happens rarely.
And that's why they're in the first 4.
Yeah, but that's when. But that Texas Colorado matchup is an interesting one too. I'm probably leaning towards Texas, just because their talent late. Texas has got
Plus,
some good talent.
former Rick Barnes assistant Rodney Terry.
Rodney Terry
taking over
is
the
there.
show.
Yeah. And then last but not least,
Speaking
we have
of Rick Barnes,
we have Tennessee as a 2 seed taking on St. Pete's.
all right, Dad, this is a big game for Rick Barnes and the Volunteers here.
Yeah, they got the butt kicked by Mississippi State, which is again I think just a bad matchup for them. But they're coming into here. I think they take care of St. Pete's. I think pretty handily. As far as the point spreads, I think theirs is the fourth highest. I think they're favored by 21.5 right now.
But Ziegler's brother plays for
What makes it interesting is Tennessee's starting point guard, Zakai Ziegler, his brother is on St. Pete's. So Ziegler will be playing against his brother. He won't be man-to-man on his brother unless he switched off to him because his brother is 6'5".
Talk about people who know who you are.
Yeah. But I think we get a tournament Ziegler in this game. Now, you ain't gonna play your little brother and not be ready to play your little brother. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be up to play your little brother. You ain't gonna let your little brother outshine you. And then the little brother ain't gonna let the big brother outshine him. So this is gonna be a fun game. But I've definitely got Tennessee winning it. And then there is round 1. And I probably got about half those wrong. But hey, that's what this is. Honestly, this is the best tournament of any sport in any genre. I probably like college football as a sport better, but this is the best tournament. Now next year we've got 12 teams in college football. That might turn out to be just spectacular. And they're probably going to 14 now, ain't they? The next year or something. So 12 to 14 teams in college football is awesome, but this right now is
March Madness is always.
It is spectacular, dude. It is spectacular. We're going to jump in there now. As Austin Sports Weekend, we are going to the first and second rounds. We are going to the Charlotte region, and so we'll get to see North Carolina, Michigan State, Mississippi State, Tennessee, and those boys Texas play. So we will throw a video or two on from there. We're actually going to have a little bit behind the scenes tour of the arena and get on the floor a little bit. So we'll try to give you a little bit of that too coming up. But before we get out of here, let's talk about a little breaking news. There's not a whole lot of breaking news this week.
Joshua Dobbs did sign with the 49ers.
Josh Dobbs is with the 49ers, so we're back to the Hail Mary pass again. I hope he gets in and throws a Hail Mary. Don't you hope he gets in? Just for the fun of it. I'd like to see it.
And then Mike Williams leaves the Chargers to go to the Jets.
We knew the Chargers were going to have to dump some salary. That was going to be the thing that hurt them the most was their salary cap problem. So they got rid. It's probably going to be he's probably going to be throwing passes to himself at this point. They ain't got a lot of receivers.
Jim Harbaugh doesn't have any receivers.
So we know what their first pick's going to be. We're going to try to get a receiver.
Chase Young goes to the Saints.
That's what I thought was interesting. But Chase Young, he is going to have a surgery going in. I don't think it's a big surgery, but he's got a little surgery going in. But the Saints did pick up Chase Young, and I think Chase Young has got plenty of old gas still left in the tank. So I think that's a huge plus. And the Saints could use some defensive help. They could, yeah. A couple other little things. I don't think we got just in a little NCAA news, Clemson files suit for the exit fees of ACC.
Oh, boy. Here we go. It's going to be another saga.
So now we've had Florida State to sue for the exit fees, and we've had Clemson to sue for the exit fees.
Now, it's up for Greg Sankey to get off his, to get off his fingers and do some moves.
The SEC needs to add Florida State and Clemson.
That's exactly what I'm implying.
I mean, how about a South Carolina-Clemson rivalry? I mean, they play every year, but how about a SEC rivalry? How about a Florida State? They play every year, but how about it being an SEC rivalry? I mean, they fit right in there perfect with the SEC. But, just as, the NCAA is getting sued on every corner. So they're in trouble. Did you see where the ladies are suing over the lady players are suing the NCAA too about letting male players into the women's sport, which I think is ignorant myself too. So the NCAA's got a little trouble going on right now. They got lawsuits. They're going to have to hire more lawyers.
Yeah, they're gonna. Either that or they're gonna have to make some different divisions or something.
Something. The only thing, hallelujah, we got the college basketball tournament going on right now to
That could be a nice
give us
distraction.
a little nice distraction from all the other stuff that's going on. But once this tournament's going on, gets over. There's going to be a lot of time to talk about this stuff. So, I said we'll probably pop in and do another little video. Like I said, probably from over in Charlotte for you, a little live something, or we may tape a little something over to talk about the first round. The second round's coming in Friday. We may dump a little something before the second round comes in. So be sure and look for that. Other than that, hope you had a little fun with us. Thanks again for Severe TV for sponsoring us, setting us up into cool studios. Thanks again for Autographs Plus. Be sure and check them out, and we will see you in a few days.
See you next week. Or a few days.
A few days.